Right, let's do this. I'm either gonna bomb out or I'm gonna absolutely smash this race, but I've no idea. So in about 15 minutes, I'm gonna do my first Zwift race of 2022, and I haven't done any real races on Zwift for almost a year now, but they're such great fun and they're super motivating once your fitness starts to increase and you start getting that a bit more competitive. Just quickly, last time I was doing a few races, I was weighing in at 79 or 80 kilos. My FTP was also about 20 watts higher than it is now. So I'm gonna go in CAT C and we'll see what happens. I weighed in this morning at 83.7 kilos and my FTP is around 250. Let's go. So I'm in the pen, I'm in the warm-up area, and I want to do a bit of a voiceover of this race and we'll see how that plays out. But I'm not actually warming up at this point, I'm scrambling to get everything sorted and get on the bike. But anyway, I just want to quickly go over the makeup of the race. So it's a short race, only 19 kilometers, which is made up of 2 laps of a rolling course. And the plan here now is to go out hard and just hold on to the front group as long as possible. So we're in now, I finally jump on the bike and get clipped in. As with all Zwift races, it's a huge kind of sprint start, big effort at the start, just to get out in front, to get to the front of the pack and then hopefully stay there. So without a warm up, this was pretty intense going straight into this, having to put out 400 watts or so, 500 watts, and just trying to keep that there so I can stay in front and keep with the front pack. Because as soon as you lose that front pack and you lose the drafting effect within that front pack, then you're basically out of the race. That's why it's so hard at the start of these Zwift races. Now, I've gone from fanning around beforehand and my heart rate being sub 100 to now straight into 152 beats per minute. And I'm getting into this now and I can seriously feel the legs. So there was a short lead into this one, into the laps. I've no idea why they do lead-ins on Zwift. If you know, then let me know. But we're into the first lap now and I'm in the front group. And in this front group, unfortunately, there's people in the A category, in the B category, in the C category, and potentially in the D category as well. Now, because they haven't staggered the groups up and the categories up, I'm probably pushing out a lot more watts than I should be doing to try and keep up with this front group. But if I drop from the front group, then I'm potentially going to drop from the front group of the C category, which I'm in, and then I probably won't be able to get back into that. So I'm kind of trying to stay with them, but also seeing where everybody else in my category ends up, because they should also probably drop back at some point. It's just what point they drop back and who I go with. So yeah, I'm massively in the red zone in terms of the FTP there on the graph you can see, and the heart rate is slowly going up to around 160 beats, and I'm keeping, maybe that's like a 280 watt average, let's say, but I've just completely lost the front group now. So they're gone, I've lost the drafting effect, but behind me there's a couple people in the C category, so I'm hoping to drop in with those guys and hopefully I'll settle into that group. That'll be my group, that'll be my front group for the C category for the rest of this race. Now, I'm probably going to do a voiceover over the entire thing, but then I might edit it post afterwards and break it up to the more meaty bits, the better bits of the race, and then we can just watch that rather than you guys watching the entire thing. But that might be of interest and I'll just kind of analyze this. So the group behind me have now caught up, and it's important here for me to put down some watts, because I know if I ease off too much, they'll just go flying straight past and then I lose that drafting effect. So there's only a few of us here, but this should be the guys that I want to stay with and stick with for the entire race, and then hopefully race at the end for kind of a sprint finish. Hopefully the guys want to keep a nice steady pace that I'm with, and there's not too many surges and people trying to sprint off on their own, and we work together as a bit of a group, and then towards the end we can have a bit more of a battle, a bit more of a sprint finish for the win. So now we're 6 minutes in and we've kind of settled in a bit. There's a couple in this group that are surging off a bit and then dropping back, and it is kind of settled. And now we've also got a group behind us catching us up, and that should form a nice big blob all the way towards the finish line, providing we don't get all of these surges that keep happening. But it makes it challenging, it makes it difficult with people going off the front all the time. I want to be towards the front of the pack so I don't get left behind, but then again, I don't want to eat too much wind and everyone's drafting behind me and benefiting from that. So here we go, there's a few of us now, fairly big group, and we've got a couple of these undulating type hills. This is going up to 5, 6%, 7%, 8%, 9%, 10%. So I'm gonna have to put down the watts here in order to stick with them. So going into the red now, nobody's really easing off, so it's just kind of full gas. I suppose being a short race, it's gonna be like that. Pushing all the way over the top here, but I'm in the red and they're pretty much getting away from me. I really need to keep onto them, keep onto the back of the pack so I don't lose that drafting and just get completely left for dead. But I'm feeling pretty pooped just after a couple of these surges and short hills. Really, my heart rate's going up and I'm in the red zone. I'm falling off the back here. So finally, I'm starting to catch this group back up. The last couple of minutes, I've just been off the back of them, trying to catch up, trying to keep up with them. But finally, they've hit a hill, slowed them down a little bit, and I've managed to keep up. But it does mean I've burnt a lot of matches, eating a lot of wind just to try and catch up with them and stay within the pack. So I'm struggling to stay on here. So now approaching sort of halfway, I'm staying in the group a bit now. There's a few people that keep going off the front and we can't kind of keep up with them. So I think this is gonna start to split. So I'm having to push out some big watts just to try and keep up, some big watts for me anyway to keep up. But I think we're gonna split and I'm not gonna be able to hold on for too much longer on the front group. So there they go, I'm pretty much left for dead now, and they're in a nice little group together. I'm kind of back here with this other guy. There's just two of us, so they get a much better drafting bonus being a bigger group. So us two back here, we're probably gonna try and catch up. I was definitely keen to catch up with them, but not knowing if really that's possible. We'd have to put out a significant amount of watts just to catch up with them. But he surges, he goes on, and then I try and match him, try and keep with him, and for a little bit here now, we're kind of going, he goes for a little bit on the front, I go for a little bit on the front, trying to put out some extra watts just to catch up. So I'm really putting in some big efforts here just to try and get on the back of this group, and he's done the same as well. Got up to like 7 watts per kilo, really surging to try and get back in touch with this group and gain some of that draft benefit, but also just absolutely hammering myself and hammering my legs just to try and catch up. But fortunately, with a big push, big surge, we managed to catch up. But how long is that gonna last with all the pain in the legs? So really good stuff now. I'm pretty buzzing to have definitely caught this group, and now I'm coming up to the front of this group, which is awesome. But again, I need to rest up at this point. I'm pretty knackered. I want to sit towards the back of this group just to save some watts and keep with the group, but not fall off the back. I definitely don't want to have to try and make up like I did last time with those massive surges. So I definitely don't want to fall off. I just want to stay with them as much as I can now. And as you can see at the top there, we're into the second lap now. So not long left, 8.8K at this speed. Won't take too long. Hopefully I can stay with them and we can have a nice sprint finish. Just 4.9Ks left now, and I've done pretty well just to stick with these guys. I'm feeling pretty pumped that I've stuck with them, but we're really stretching out now, and there's been a couple of guys at the front just doing these surges and breaking away often and really trying to push the pace, leaving everybody else to try and hang on to it. So there's a bit of breaking up going on, bit of splintering going on, but not long left. If I can stick with them now, then I can get to the finish line with them hopefully, but it is going to be a real tough one. Just here now you can see on the mini map in the top right hand corner how much things have just split up. So there's people kind of dotted around everywhere, not too many groups now. People have started to try and kind of go for the win. So there's a big gap now, and that's been brought about by a couple of hills and a couple of people trying to go off the front and starting to make a push towards the finish line with 4K left to go. And this guy here, the one that's coming up just behind me, he was the one that I was pushing with earlier to try and get back on to the main group, and now he's kind of cycling past me. I'm putting out some watts just to keep up with him, so hopefully I'll party up with him and we can work all the way towards the end. So he's been pushing, I've been pushing, but now he's making a real big push, trying to get away from me. He's putting out some big watts, and I can't seem to keep up this last time on his last push away from me. And we've got a K left to go, so not long at all. I'm gonna try and catch up with him, or try and do a longer sprint to get with him. He's chasing down the group in front, who are 5 seconds ahead. He's now 3 seconds ahead, and I'm kind of just sat here on my own with 0.8 Ks to go. So I'm pretty broken now, pretty disheartened that I'm back here kind of on my own, and I've put in a lot of big efforts, but just not been able to keep that front group, and kind of kept falling back and splintering off, and just not being able to stay there consistently. So the guy just in front of me, I think he's managed to catch up that group in front, and now I drop a big effort sprinting for the finish. I'm still going to put in the effort. I look absolutely ruined. Putting out highest watts per kilo I can still, getting the best time possible, but I'm absolutely fried at this point. There we go, across the finish line. There we go, coming in 20th overall, and we'll see how that ranks in my category. Averaging 3 watts per kilo, 250 watts over the entire thing. I'm absolutely ruined at this point, but good fun, good fun. Cheeky little spin down, a bit of a cry, and then I will start my day's work. The race results then. So thanks for watching. If you watched it all this way, whilst I'm rolling around and trying to recover, I'm just gonna go with the race results. So I came in 5th. I can't remember how many it's out of 14 on here anyway, which isn't too bad. And the guy that I was kind of battling with the entire way through, he came 2nd, so that's pretty awesome. He put out 3.1 watts per kilo, so I wasn't far off that. The guy at the front put out 4.5 watts per kilo, so he really shouldn't be in this category. But anyway, that's the race results on Zwift anyway. I haven't checked out on ZwiftPower, but that's how this one went, and it was really good fun. If you want to see more videos like this, then let me know in the comments below, and give me a like if you liked it. If it was boring to watch the entire thing, or you want snippets of it, then comment below and let me know what you think is best. I like doing it. It was good fun. It motivates me, and I'll see you in the next one.